Hello and welcome to Velocity Talks. My name is Christopher Durham and I'm the president of the Velocity Institute. This is my opportunity to talk to some cool people, the movers, the shakers, as I like to say, in the private brand industry. We have a guest returning after about 2 years, I think it was, Leo Nucera from Agritalia. Leo, welcome. It's great to have you back.
Hello, Chris. Yeah, it's a long time, a couple of years ago.
So, Leo, you may have, or the viewers, you may notice Leo has a bit of an accent. So, Leo, tell us where you are and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Actually, I'm calling today from Naples, not in Florida, but in Italy. I was raised and born here in the south of Italy, and Naples is my hometown.
So, how did you get into the business? Tell us about your background.
Okay, yeah. Actually, it was a long journey. Actually, at the beginning of my career, I was not in the food industry. I was more into the financial consulting. I was working at Accenture in the banking system. So definitely was not the food at the beginning of the career. But I had an opportunity to start working in, let's say, in the CPG business with Coca-Cola for the Olympic torch relay of Torino 2006 for the Olympic Games.
Mhm.
And at that time, I really had the opportunity to experiencing more about my country, about my lands, the food that was coming from Italy, and so that was really the beginning of the career in the food industry.
Tell us about Agritalia. So, how does Agritalia relate to the private brand industry?
Yeah, absolutely. I joined actually Agritalia almost 15 years ago. Was very proud to start working with Agritalia. Nice, very nice people. They were working a lot in the United States. It was one of my dreams because I really felt very interesting in working for that market. Agritalia, mainly we do private label for big supermarkets around the world. And we are specialized more in the dry food, pasta, extra virgin olive oil, balsamic vinegar, pasta sauces. We do logistics program for from Italy, from Europe actually to North America. That is our core business. And
So, let me make sure I understand. But you're not a manufacturer, right? You don't make pasta or Parmigiano Reggiano or any of those things. You go out and find those things and create programs for retailers and help them logistically to get it all to shelf so that it makes it easier for them to consolidate and have a Italian foods program.
yeah, absolutely. And of course, it's becoming very challenging to run efficient private label, but also branded program coming from overseas. And we have seen during the COVID and during the past years that the logistics was a big challenge for everybody. And it's not only about sourcing the right product, but it's also about the quality, about the reliability of the supply chain, making sure that everybody are working to hit the target, to have the efficient program on shelf, and especially having the product on shelf. That was, I think, the big achievement of the COVID timing. Yes.
So give us a little bit, because I know you and I have talked a lot about it, and I know the Italian Trade Association and stuff don't run programs on it. But talk to us a little bit why it's important to buy actually Italian made Italian products and not just Italian style American made products.
Absolutely. This is, I think, a big deal, especially in Italy, because we had so many great products that sometimes are not recognized properly around the world because the usage of the flag or the usage of the name that is protected here in Europe, in Italy, from the government. It is about the tradition, about the authenticity of the product. Of course, when we are shipping over our product, it is not only about the single package of product that we are shipping. It's about how we are having our product in the tradition of another country, how we can transfer, how we can share that experience, especially now that we have many American friends visiting Italy holidays, and when they are going back home, they want to have the similar experience they had here in the restaurants in the Costiera Amalfitana, in Sorrento, in the Cinque Terre. We want to make sure that the experience they have if they read Product of Italy is then accomplished.
And so we're seeing, and I know you guys have done some of these programs, Whole Foods, and I think Kroger has a new premium, all Italian made, and Target's launched one, and so there's a lot of cool stuff where it's legit, you know, bronze die real pasta, real San Marzano tomatoes, not just San Marzano style tomatoes. A lot. It's fascinating. And you guys are leading that charge, I know.
Yeah, absolutely. Today we have a big market share in the pasta business and the olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil, for instance, is a product that is mainly produced in the Mediterranean. The product has to be produced and sourced from Europe. And it's part of the Mediterranean diet that is thanks also to the communication and also the new generations that are more involved into a diet that is a little bit more healthy than the past is having big benefit for a company like us and in general reputation of our diet, our products.
So tell us a little bit about what is the year ahead? What do you see as being important? What are your initiatives as we look forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I think sustainability, of course, is a big, I would say, big chapter actually coming from in Europe. There was a big event in 2015. The United Nations, they published this agenda for as a goal of the sustainability goal for the 2030.
Mhm.
I think at that time, really, we started thinking about the future. But of course, many companies never pay the enough attention to this topic. And I would say that probably this is now the time that we have the evidence from the climate change, all the disaster that we are experiencing all around the world, flooding, drought,
Mhm.
everything that is affecting many raw materials now is giving to all the players to different industries that this is the time to act.
And so you guys are sponsors of our sustainability summit that's coming up in a few weeks in Austin. So we're always happy to have you participate there.
European Union is a big partner of the United States. We
Mhm.
are doing business together since forever. And I think logistics of product coming from European Union to North America can make a big difference. Because today we know that 15% of the food waste is happening during the distribution.
Right.
We know that this is something that we can help the industry to create like more efficient program in terms of environmental impact. That is something that we know we have evidence. I was also anticipating that we're working with a few universities in Europe that are kind of studying an algorithm that is will give the benefit of having a smart importing from Europe to United States. That's
So
something.
tell us a little bit about that program because I know you've got some universities looking at what you're doing with importing. Tell us about what's going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. We are working since 2019 with the University of Sheffield, UK, that is leading a group of university around Europe, uh, from Poland, from Italy, from Germany. So we have a bunch of the university that is actually studying our model. Because logistics is a very complicated and probably underrated piece of the in the food industry, but also in other industries because there is a lot of lack of communication between all the players of the supply chain. So, what is the mission of our program and also the partnership with the university is to understand, thanks to all the data that we are sharing with them, that if we are using a data sharing between all the players of the supply chain, we can reduce of about 40% the impact on the environment of the logistics of an imported program. This is something that we are doing since 2015. So now we are almost at the end of our 8 year of experience of this program. And really, we know that, and the university will give us also, let's say, the feedback that our program from a scientific point of view is working. Because of course, we created a software that is available for our customers, but we really would like to that we can be also maybe an inspiration from the industry and also for other players because we think in the long term this will be beneficial for everybody.
Absolutely. You deal with a lot of retailers and obviously multiple countries and all sorts of things like that. Talk to me a little bit about as you look forward for private brand, what is the potential? If you use your crystal ball, right? Obviously, no one knows the answer, but what's the potential? Where could we be?
Yeah, good question. I need to find my crystal ball.
It's all
But
good.
what is really interesting, I think, is understanding more about the next generation. Of course, we are transitioning now from millennials to Gen Z.
Mhm.
And really, I think Gen Z, based on the information I gather, but also what is the experts are saying, is a very interesting generation because they were passing through multiple recessions. They were passing through the 2008, the 2011, the big financial problems. So probably they had an education to find solution to maybe change the lifestyle because the parents were on a budget. So I think that generation will be more pragmatic than the
Mhm.
previous one, and probably thanks to this different approach that is completely different. Maybe with the previous one, they were more about ideals, about not very concrete solutions. Probably they will give a shift to the industry in general because they will be more demanding on products,
Yep.
will be more, they will pay more attention about the label, but also the authenticity, the transparency of the supply chain. So I think that could be the big focus on the private brand for the future.
Certainly, they're all about authenticity, which ought to be good for your program, right? So it turns out if it's made by Italians in Italy with Italian recipes, it's probably pretty close to the real thing, right? Honestly, I have a tendency to think Italy's on that leading edge because when we look at Gen Z, and they don't use the word authenticity so much as just real. So they want real Italian food, they want real Korean food, they want real Japanese food, whatever it is. And American grocers have for so long had fake American tacos, fake American spaghetti, fake American whatever. It may or may not be good or bad. It's just some weird American thing, but I think these kids want to taste the real thing now.
Yeah, absolutely. They will be more skeptical, and they will be also more loyal to the one that are matching their expectations.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. They're loving both Aldi and Trader Joe's right now.
Yeah, I think, of course, today it is more about the product itself. It's more about, I think, sourcing of the product from a manufacturer. I
Mm-hmm.
think the big also goal that we have is to definitely find the right program, the right manufacturer for that need. Because the United States is a huge country. You have different size retailer. You can have a different requirement, different quality standard, but at the same time you have maybe the small player that is also willing to try some authentic product. You
Yep.
need to find that program that is produced at that manufacturer because they can accomplish the minimum production run, or they can be flexible to run the quantity that are needed for that retailer. And it is also about the European Union, because European Union is the United States of Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we I think we stopped thinking about Italy is the country where we are sourcing product from. We are coming from European Union. We have the expertise to source from different countries because the logistics from Europe is very easy. Compare on the shipping product full container to one single place to United States is not the right answer. It's better to do maybe consolidation of product coming from Germany, France, Greece, Italy, Spain, Portugal, and then
Mm.
shipping the right quantity. Because again, during the distribution, we are losing 30% of the food, sometimes for the out of code products, or maybe there's some problem, some issue in the inventory. And so I think that is the future also of the importing, creating more integrated partnership with all the players, be very transparent, and working together for the in the long term with partners.
Absolutely. If you can be more efficient at the global sourcing, right, at the moving things around, cubing out, all those things, that's going to be automatically be more sustainable, right? Because you're shipping fewer containers, you're better at it. If you can reduce the amount of waste that you're getting because it went bad or whatever, that's automatically more sustainable. And both of those things ought to save you money. I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah, this is it. Just to give you an example, to do a product like this, we
Mhm.
need to coordinate about 30 different suppliers. Because talking about the lead, talking about the paper, we need to source the paper, when do we need to print the paper, and then we need to have the different ingredients. If we are having the right coordination of all the suppliers and the sub suppliers of a product, then you can imagine that you can create the efficiency at each level, and you can be more efficient with the finished good.
Absolutely. Well, very good. So we always close out with the same 5 questions. So we'll see what your answers are 2 years later, right? Are you
Okay,
ready?
ready.
What's your favorite word?
Okay, I think I'm really fascinated about the history, and my favorite word is an Italian word called Rinascimento, that we translated into Renaissance. Renaissance is the, I think, one of the most exciting part of the history that we had here in Europe and in particular in Italy. And I encourage everybody
Yeah.
to go back in the history book and see how was exciting that part of the history of the humanity, I guess.
Ah, very good. So let's see. Question number 2. Are you a more artistic or a more mathematic person?
Yeah, of course, I'm more mathematic for my background, my role, but I can tell you that I'm a mathematic with the soul. That is probably giving a little bit of more creativity, especially
So you're
when
Da Vinci, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's good. That is a great character to study.
What was he, more artistic or mathematic? I don't know.
I don't
Cause
know. It was
yeah,
a genius.
yeah, genius, absolutely. All right. If you could share a meal with anyone, past or present, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Yeah, I'm very into soccer.
Mhm.
Probably there was the same answer that I did a couple of years ago, but I had the opportunity to meet in person when it was still alive. The I think the most famous and the greatest player of soccer in the history, that is Diego Armando Maradona from
Mhm.
Argentina. That actually I was meeting with him in an airport. I was traveling to North America, and I spent 45 minutes with him in a lounge of Lufthansa. I remember was I still get emotion thinking about those 45 minutes with him.
Wow. My touch with soccer greatness when I was 10, we played football soccer, right? And I was in a clinic in my neighborhood, and one of the big sports stores had Pele come and come to the clinic, and he did some drills with us and stuff. He was a god.
I remember I had a 11 hours flight from Frankfurt to Vancouver, and I was alone. So I was
Wow,
trying to talk to everybody about this meeting, but anyway.
that's exciting. All right, so what profession other than your own would you have liked to have tried?
Yeah, this is very easy for me. I think in another life I would like to do the film director. I'm
Ah,
very passionate about the movies, and I really think that is something that I'm trying to do with my kids, in my spare time.
mhm.
This is something that I enjoy.
Who's your favorite director?
Now is Christopher Nolan is the one that is now is very popular for the latest movie that is on the theater right now. But I have so many all the classical Robert
Mhm.
Zemeckis, but the different style, of course, about the passing during the 80s and the 90s. So the big director that were having they were heroes for our generation.
Very good. All right, so final question. If you could speak to yourself when you begin your career, what advice would you give yourself?
Maybe don't be shy to share your ideas, because I think especially in the 20s, early 30s, I feel that I had a very good idea, but didn't have enough, say, maybe commitment to just going into that path. So don't be shy.
And that's great advice. Very good. So it's my show. So I always get to plug what we're doing coming up. So as I said, Agritalia is a sponsor of our upcoming sustainability summit, which will be September 26th through the 27th in Austin, Texas. Tickets are still available. We've got about what is that, 20 some odd days there. Should be able to still get a cheap flight for still 20 days out. So please buy a ticket now and come and join us. It's a great conversation. And what I tell people is this is a private brand conference. This theme is sustainability. So we focus on the two things that the private brand industry has some control over. Product, number one. So ingredients, fair trade, organic, reduced chemicals, all of those things around more sustainable product, as well as sourcing and that sort of thing, as well as packaging. Packaging is often the easiest lever for a retailer to pull. Am I using the right materials? Am I using less materials? Am I over packaging? Is chemicals of concern? All those things. And even if you don't have sustainability in your title, I promise you this conference will impact what you're doing. Every major retailer almost in the world has made huge statements around 2025 goals, 2030 goals, and to reach them, it's going to take the entire industry. So please come to Austin and join us. Tickets are on sale right now. And we thank you very much, Leo. It's been a great conversation.
My pleasure, Chris.